What is up, guys? Welcome back. My name is BurThrilled, and today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be doing one hot take for every anime. Now, I'm trying to make it my hottest take out of every anime, right? That I genuinely believe as well. Now, if you see me looking down, I have all the list of anime in front of me that I've seen. Obviously, I can't make I can make hot takes about anime I haven't seen, but I'm not going to do that. I only do things that I'm informed on. But let's get straight into it, and we'll start off with my favorite anime of all time, Naruto. And my hottest take may come as a surprise. I think most people agree Madara should have been the final villain, so I'm not going to say that. But I honestly think my hottest take is Sakura's a good character. I like Sakura. At first, on my first watch, I hated her. I could not stand Sakura, but after rewatching, she's actually a solid character. Also, let me know if you guys have any hot takes down in the comments, like people flame you for. I would like to hear them, because some of mine can be outrageous, but some of you guys have some outrageous ones too. But next we move on to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, my second favorite anime of all time. And there's a lot I could say about JoJo's. But my hot take, and I think this is probably the hottest one I could think of, is that Part 4 is by far and away the worst part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's honestly close. It's the only part that I wouldn't consider amazing. It's the only one that has flaws to it, in my opinion. And I know JoJo's has no filler in it, but half of Part 4 feels like a filler. While we move on to Black Clover, my third favorite anime, you guys could be my favorite subscriber if you went down there and hit the subscribe button. So if you're enjoying the content, why not, right? But here we have Black Clover, and my biggest hot take with Black Clover is that it is the best new gen anime. Now, you might say that's kind of a cop-out. So I will say I also think Asta is one of the best main characters of all time. A top 5 main character of all time. I love Asta. I think that could be a pretty hot take as well. Next, we move on to One Piece. A pretty long show, but it might not be as long as my subathon, which is starting December 28th. It may be going on as this video comes out. Link in the description. BurThrilled on Twitch. You guys can come say hey. Going to be live for quite a while. So for One Piece here, my hot take on One Piece. Oh, I have so many, but I have one that's definitely going to make people mad. That would be, I kind of have two. So I'm going to start off with a lighter one, which is, I think Gear 5 kind of sucks, but I think some people do agree with that. I don't think that's the hottest take out there, right? This other one, I think some people will agree with me too, but I think Sanji's the worst member of the Straw Hats, and I think he is one of the worst characters in One Piece. He's a pretty bad character. He likes minors and all the stuff he does with the women. And then people are going to be like, oh, blame Toei, blame Toei. It's his personality. It's not the heart eyes popping up. I don't care about that. His personality is the same in the manga too. I don't like Sanji. I find him annoying, and the fact people put him near Zoro is honestly kind of crazy to me. Sanji has done nothing to show that he's near levels of strength of Zoro. Zoro's always fighting the tougher opponent. Zoro is faster, stronger, has better haki, has conquerors haki. I just don't understand how anybody argues that Sanji is stronger other than he can regenerate or whatever and go invisible. Zoro is so much better. Sanji's just not a great character. Alright, on to number 5. We have my hot take on Cowboy Bebop. Now, this is tough because I love Cowboy Bebop. Is there really a hot take here? Oh, I guess this is a hot take, but it's hard to have one for Cowboy Bebop, right? But I wish Edward and Ein didn't leave. I know it was a sad moment, but and they kind of had to, but seeing them leave just, I knew something bad was going to happen, right? You don't drop off Ein and Edward because, you're going to go live happily ever after. So, yeah, it just was not a, I wish that didn't happen. That's really the only hot take I can think for Bebop, though. Next, we have Full Metal Alchemist. Now, I didn't think this would be a hot take, but after posting on my TikTok, apparently it is. I think a lot of the homunculi are not good characters, and the argument I get for it is so stupid. I think, for example, that Gluttony is a bad character, I say it all the time, and people are like, how's Gluttony a bad character? And I say, because his whole personality is just being fat, and their response is always, oh, but that's the point. Just because that's the point doesn't make it good. I don't like a character's personality being fat. That's a bad personality trait, and I understand that's his whole point, and I get I'm not supposed to like him, but it's just annoying. You're just a fat fuck, and it's honestly kind of lazy. The homunculus idea is so cool, but Gluttony plays too big of a part just to be fat. I just don't like him as a character. I don't like Sloth either. Sloth is kind of lame. Lust gets packed up immediately. I mean, she's practically useless. I don't really care for Pride either, or the little kid. I don't remember which one the little kid is. No, that one is Pride. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I don't really like the homunculi. Next, we have Bleach. Now, I have a lot of hot takes on Bleach because I'm not nearly as high on it as other people. I think it's a good show, but I think my two hottest takes are Uryu is the worst character in anything. Like, I've genuinely never seen a character worse than Uryu, but that's honestly probably not even a hot take because a lot of people hate Uryu, right? So it's not even crazy to say. But my other hot take is majority of the characters in Bleach suck, especially the main cast, because the characters that are good, and I'm talking about original Bleach, because I could even go on and say other things like original Bleach is so much more worse than Thousand Year Blood War, which obviously, but I haven't watched Thousand Year Blood War, right? But in the original Bleach, there's all these characters that are hyped up that do nothing. They do nothing. Rukia, fraud. Byakuya, fraud. Toshiro, the biggest fraud. Renji, 007. Also Toshiro's 007. Rangiku does nothing. Orihime does nothing. Chad loses to no one, but we all know what really happens, right? Uryu, again, worst character ever. Ichigo's cool. Kenpachi's cool. Mayuri sucks. A lot of the captains don't do anything. A lot of the characters that are introduced do nothing and are boring. And I don't understand why the characters are so overrated, right? Like, a lot of them just don't do anything. Even the Espada. Who's the cool Espada? Grimmjow? Aizen. That's it. I think Ulquiorra is overrated too. I don't find him that interesting. Gin isn't really that interesting. Tosen's not that interesting. Like, Ikkaku's cool. He's cool. I give it to him. But, like, a lot of the characters are just not that good. And I remember Lovely Arrancar being so hyped up. Like, oh my god, he's awesome. Lovely Arrancar is a dog shit character, okay? I'm sorry. Bleach just has so many overrated characters that just aren't good. That's my hot take on that. A lot of the characters just suck, especially the main cast. Especially. Okay, so this is me editing here, and I wanted to come in and kind of give more of a description as to why I said this, because people are going to hate and be like, which, you know, makes sense. You talk trash about somebody's favorite thing, they're not going to really like it. But to give, like, further, I guess, reasoning, it's just that, like, a lot of the main cast, for example, Renji, he doesn't have any importance to the story, but he's in every arc. I mean, and he does have importance, but he just doesn't do anything. For the whole entirety of the original Bleach, Uryu does nothing. Rukia has like one important fight that she wins. Byakuya just Bankai spams. Again, doesn't really do a whole lot of anything. Tosen does nothing in the original Bleach other than you see him betray and go with Aizen. Same with Gin, like they just don't really do anything in the original. Now, this is not really a massive complaint, right? But the original show is 360 episodes, and they introduce about 50 meaningful characters, and only about 5 of them actually do anything. So it's not really, you know, to say that they're necessarily that bad. Like, they shouldn't be that bad, but the problem is they show up a lot and don't do a whole lot. Like I said, the main cast that's in every single arc, most of them do literally nothing. Like, Toshiro only does something in Hueco Mundo, but he's in every other arc doing nothing. Rangiku literally does nothing the entire show. So that's just kind of my point. I don't think they're necessarily bad characters, like I was saying. I just feel like they make unimportant characters feel important. Should be the more accurate description. But next we move on to Beyblade. I guess my hot take about Beyblade is that it's not really a kid show. Like, if you watch Beyblade, it has a lot of really deep moments. Not every hot take needs to be negative. My hot take is that it's better than a lot of, like, adult anime or young adult anime, right? Like, even though it's directed for kids, it has a lot of great moments in it. Next we have Dragon Ball. Now, Dragon Ball, there's a lot of people that like it and dislike it. I do like Dragon Ball, but I also do agree with the stuff about Dragon Ball. Like, it's not a very in-depth story. It's really not. But my hot take on Dragon Ball is the entire story that it has, its entire message, plot, everything, is ruined by one character, that being Gohan. Gohan destroys everything the story built up from that point, because the entire thing about Goku is he's always been either undersized or he's never been the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, and then he works to become that. And then when you get to Dragon Ball Z, it's like, oh, he's not a royal. We find out he's a Saiyan, but he's not a royal Saiyan, so like he should be weaker than everybody. He's a low-class warrior. He works his ass off. He becomes the strongest, and then we just let this fucker Gohan, who's a low-class Saiyan, mixed with a human, which I get hybrid Saiyans are supposed to be stronger, but he's low class, still does absolutely nothing, and is just as strong as Goku. It ruins the entire plot of Dragon Ball. All the plot in Dragon Ball is ruined by Gohan. Absolutely ruined. But I'm saving that. That could be another video. That'll be a very long video on why I hate Gohan, because he is awful. Not as bad as Uryu, but he is awful, because he did have those moments against Cell. Those were awesome, but everything after is terrible. For the 10th one, we have Hunter x Hunter, and my hot take about Hunter x Hunter is Gon did not need to do all that for Kite, bro. He knew Kite for a solid, like, 2 days, and he was sliding like that for Kite. Like, honestly, you know, I respect it, but it was like, it was kind of over the top, bro. You did not know him like that, you know? Like, I don't know, it was a little, overreaction, I would say. He gave up Nen for that, and I was like, that's a little crazy if you ask me. So I guess that's my hot take. He overreacted. Now, again, Hunter x Hunter is another one hard to find a hot take for. The show is damn near perfect, because the other one, like my other take about it's not a hot take, but it's like the only reason it's not perfect is because it's not being made still. So, yeah, there's not many hot takes about Hunter x Hunter. But next we have JJK, and I don't know. I'm going to say this is a hot take. This is probably my hottest take from JJK, but I don't really know if it is, because I think people would agree with me when I explain it, but JJK is horrible at developing characters. And I don't mean from a personality standpoint, because a lot of them develop well, like character-wise, but a lot of the characters are introduced and never get any better at anything. Like, how does Megami have the most potential out of anyone and never reaches any potential whatsoever? Like, he doesn't get better at anything. How does Nobara, who is a student under Gojo, like the strongest guy ever, get packed up like that so easily, right? Like, I don't understand. Nobody gets stronger in the show other than Yuji. They act like Yuji's the only one that can do anything. Like, nobody ever gets stronger. I will say Maki does as well, but there's just not many characters. Like, Yuta doesn't do anything, but Yuta's a bitch-ass fraud. Everybody knows that. But just so many characters do nothing to improve, and I don't understand that. Like, they're facing demons every day. They know they're going to have to fight Sukuna, and nobody is, like, trying to get better, or nobody's like, they are trying. It shows them training, but they don't get better. They just don't. Like, I don't understand. Nobody ever meets their potential. It's so bad. Like, I don't understand that. But anyway, we'll move on to Mob Psycho. My hot take for Mob Psycho. Season 3 is the best season, even though it's not manga canon. It's better than seasons 1 and 2, hands down, in my opinion. I don't think it's close. Season 3, I think, is by far the best season of Mob. But so many people have hated on it because it's not from the manga. But it's better than the manga stuff, so yeah. Number 13, One Punch Man. I don't know if it's a hot take. I've said it before, but I think without Garo, One Punch Man fails before Season 2 even finishes. Now, I know it's failing because of Season 3's animation, but without the character Garo introduced, I think One Punch Man doesn't even get through Season 2. I think he carries the story by far, because the first season can be carried off of gags and like cool fights and stuff like that. But Season 2 genuinely needed Garo. If Garo wasn't there, I think the show probably could have ended because it would have been awful without him. So I guess that's a hot take. Garo carries One Punch Man. Now we have Fire Force. This is apparently a hot take. The fan service in Fire Force is not bad. There's so much worse. I don't understand how someone can say the fan service in Fire Force is bad and have also watched Fairy Tail. Like, there are other shows with way worse fan service. Fire Force, you only have one character with fan service, which sure, you cannot like her, but that does not ruin the show. Like, y'all are just lying, bro. It's just honestly a lie. Like, even Naruto has more fan service than Fire Force. Like, and that's one of the greatest anime ever. One Piece 100% has more fan service than Fire Force in probably just one arc. So I'm not really understanding how people let Tamaki's clothes falling off ruin the show for them. I think that's an awful opinion, but apparently it's a hot take because a lot of people are like, oh, Tamaki's awful, Fire Force is awful because of that. So many shows do it worse, but whatever. Next we have My Hero. This is a hot take to some, not a hot take to others. Deku is the worst character in the show by far. If he was not the main character, the show would be a perfect show, in my opinion. He is a little bitch when he is not fighting. When he's not fighting, he is crying on his hands and knees, begging Kacchan to look his way. Like, he is actually a loser. I hate Deku. He's not a good character at all. So that's my hot take about My Hero. Hello, I'm back again to specify. I specifically mean when Deku is not fighting. I think when he's fighting, he's pretty freaking awesome. But it's just there's too many episodes of him not in the middle of a fight, and when he's not in a fight, he does act like a little baby, and I cannot stand it. Like, you want to be the number one hero, but you're scared to talk to someone you call a friend. To me, it sucks. But when he's fighting, he is super duper cool, other than the emo arc. The emo arc was kind of lame, but yeah, he is a good character when fighting, just an awful character when not fighting. That was my point, but I didn't describe it too well. Next, we have Demon Slayer. I don't know, because a lot of people realize that, like, Demon Slayer doesn't have a good story, so I shouldn't really talk about the story. But what I will say about Demon Slayer, my hot take. Oh, that's tough. I think the animation's overrated, actually. That's a good one, because people are like, oh, Demon Slayer's so good because of the animation and the fights. It's not, though. Like, the flashing lights and stuff, that's not good animation. In my opinion, it's not. Like, I get why people like it, so I'm not going to hate on you if you think it's good, but my hot take is that's not good animation, because just because there's a bunch of flashing lights and fire going everywhere, that don't make it good. Like, in my opinion, it's just really not. And that's the same problem I had with Fate, and, they're made by the same people, so it makes sense. People are like, oh my god, Fate has such good animation for its time. It's just a bunch of flashing lights. Like, that's not good animation. You don't see anything going on. So, in my opinion, yeah, not good animation. Next, we have Assassination Classroom. I don't really know how to explain this as a hot take, but it's the most forgettable anime ever. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I can't really say much because it's so forgettable. I've watched the entire thing all the way through. It is such a forgettable anime. All I remember is the ending. That is it, because it's so forgettable. There's nothing memorable about that show. So, yeah, most forgettable anime, hands down. Number 18, we have Blue Exorcist. My hot take is all the villains suck. None of the villains in Blue Exorcist are good. The only good characters are really Rin and Shura. Everybody else kind of sucks. So, I guess that's my hot take. I don't think the villains are very good at all. Number 19, we have Death Note. Now, I know I have some hot takes about Death Note. I think Death Note becomes awful once Misa's introduced. It was still at least watchable, but then when L dies, it just becomes awful. Like, it is an awful show after that. Once Misa's introduced, I already hated it. And then once you get to the L part, it just becomes terrible. So, Misa ruins Death Note, in my opinion. That's my hot take. Awful character. Next, we have Fairy Tail. Oh, what's a hot take? Fairy Tail has some of the worst arcs ever, like literally ever. Like the Bubble Butt Bandit arc. What are we doing? Anyway, but I'll say the good one, because there's a lot of bad about Fairy Tail that a lot of people would agree with, because let's be honest, it's not the greatest show. But Jalal is one of the greatest anime villains ever. Probably top 15. I don't know if I give him top 10, but he's probably a top 15 anime villain ever. And that arc, Tower of Heaven, is one of the greatest arcs in anime. That arc alone is fantastic. Now, the rest of Fairy Tail, but Tower of Heaven is fantastic. Absolutely beautiful arc. Next, we have Pokemon. I don't really know any hot takes, because, actually, no, because I ranked Pokemon once, and the people in the comments were trying to tell me that Pokemon is, like, one of the greatest anime ever. That's just not true, okay? So, I guess that Pokemon's mid, like the anime. But I think it goes like this, like a downward slope, right? I think Pokemon starts off fantastic. Like, Indigo League is awesome, and it just gets worse, 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 and worse, and worse, and worse. Like, it just goes straight downhill. But yeah, people try to pretend like Pokemon's like a great anime. At least they have on my TikTok. I don't get that. It's definitely not. Like, you can't argue it's good, like great. You can argue it's good and you like it or whatever, but to say it's a great anime, that's just wrong. Next, we have Vinland Saga. I think Vikings suck. That's just straight up. That's why I don't like Vinland Saga. I think Thorfinn's a great character. I also think Askeladd's not really a great character either. The only character I like is Thorfinn, and I don't really like the show because Viking stuff is lame. So, yeah, I guess that's my hot take. Vikings are lame. Then we have Sword Art Online. I don't know if there's a hot take, because I think most people agree with me. Sword Art's a pretty bad show. So what would be a hot take? Can I even say one? Well, I guess if you don't think Sword Art's bad, I think Sword Art sucks after Season 2. Everything after Season 2 is ass. Maybe not the new stuff, but from the original Sword Art. Seasons 1 and 2 are pretty good, but everything else sucks. So, yeah, but is there a hot take I can even give? I mean, Kirito's a decent character. I don't know. A lot of people hate on Kirito. He's a good character, so... Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a hot take for SAO, I guess. I don't know. Oh, the intro sucks. So overrated. Lisa's such an overrated artist. There we go. There's one for a hot take. Next, we have Rave Master. I couldn't even tell you a hot take. I mean, a hot take is it has some of the best character design ever. Nobody's heard of it, but... Yeah, if you look it up, I mean, you'd probably agree with me. So, yeah, I don't know, whatever. All right, Death Parade. Hot take about Death Parade. It's the greatest 12-episode anime of all time. 100% the greatest 12-episode anime of all time. So yeah, I guess that's my hot take. Next we have Ippo. My hot take on Ippo. I don't like Mashiba. I know a lot of people like Mashiba. I guess that could be a hot take. What else? Like, I really like Ippo. I could say it's the greatest sports anime ever, but that's not even a hot take either, because what's its comp? Haikyuu, that's it? Maybe Slam Dunk. I mean, Ippo's like guaranteed top 3. So, like, yeah, I guess my hot take is I don't like Mashiba as a character. I don't really fuck with him, so. Next we have Bungo Stray Dogs. My hot take on Bungo is it takes like so many boring tropes that I would hate to see and make them interesting. Like zombies and apocalypse, they made it pretty interesting in Bungo. Memory loss, they made it pretty interesting. Reality rewriting, they made it interesting. Like all that stuff I find bullshit, but it was actually pretty good in Bungo, so I guess that's a hot take. Also, it has two of the best characters in all of anime in it, being Dazai and Fyodor, so yeah, I guess that's a hot take too, but yeah, I think the basic trope one is probably the best option there. Next we have Attack on Titan. It's just a hot take to say Attack on Titan's not that good, so I guess that's what it is. I do think it's a good show, but the people that are saying it's top 5, top 10, absolutely ridiculous. I seriously don't understand how you say that now. I do personally hate the idea of Titans because the normal Titans that run around are like zombies. Zombies are so boring and bland, like so overdone. And then the ones that control their Titans are like mechs, and I hate mechs. So that's two things I hate, right? So I already hate the power system and what they're going against. I hate Titans, that's one thing. So that you could be like, oh, well then how, but if people like Titans, sure. The first 2 seasons are so predictable, and the second season is so boring. Like, the first season has a lot of action in it and still predictable, so it's like, cool. Second season barely has any action and is boring. It's so boring. And everything is so predictable. It's like 3 episodes ago, Armin's like, oh, I sure wonder how my family's doing. Oh, I wonder, right? Like me and my friend were watching it together, and we predicted literally everything except, like, Historia's name. Like, that was it. Everything in seasons 1 and 2 are so predictable, so basic, and so boring. Now, I know seasons 3 and 4 are, like, spectacular or whatever, but seasons 1 and 2 just are not that good. And so for people to say it's top 5, top 10 with 2 bad seasons is kind of crazy to me. Well, I shouldn't say bad. Season 1's good. Season 2's kind of bad, though. I'm not going to lie. But it's just still predictable. And the concept of Titans and all that is boring. So, yeah, I don't think it's that good. Next we have Mashle. My hot take on Mashle is, honestly, Mashle is one of the best new gens to come out, right? I don't know. I don't know what number it would be, but it's like, as far as anime I've seen, it's probably a top 20 anime. Like, Mashle's really good. That's what I'll say. Mashle's underrated. Like, it's really, really, it's more than a parody comedy anime. It has a solid story. I'm not going to act like it's great, but it's super hilarious, has great fights, an amazing power system and stuff, and themes, music, and everything like that. So I think Mashle's way under-recognized for how good it is. Next we have Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Now, I made another video about endings, and I said this in the endings one. That might have already been out, might not, but I think the ending's overrated. I don't think it's bad, but people say it's like one of the greatest endings ever. I don't agree with that take. I think it's good, but I don't agree it's one of the greatest. To me, I'm not going to go into full detail because I have a video dropping on endings, but to me, David kind of was just making excuses. He wasn't really doing it for Lucy. Like, I think that was bullshit. All right, next we have the God of High School hot take. Now, it's definitely not a hot take to say the anime adaptation ruined it, because if you've even read 5 chapters, you would know that the anime adaptation ruined it pretty easily. So my hot take is it's the greatest anime to come out of Korea, like anime manhwa thing, right? Like, obviously the anime-wise is probably not, but it's the greatest story that lives in this space to come out of Korea, 100%. It's way better than Solo Leveling, way better than T-Bait. It's way better than anything to come out of Korea. The God of High School is miles ahead than both of those and anything else. Anyway, next we have Solo Leveling, speaking of. I mean, a lot of people know, again, the story's not good in Solo Leveling. It's really not. I guess the power system's overrated. It's not really a hot take, though. Maybe this is a hot take, but literally every character sucks other than Sung Jin-woo. Like, and he's not even a good character. Like, he's kind of mid. Like, the show is carried off Aura. Let's be honest. It's not like any character in the show is good. The fights are decent, but it's just Aura. That's all the show's carried off of is Aura. And I can't believe that shit's compared to the God of High School. Like, why did they ruin the God of High School? Sorry for the rant, but, like, the God of High School could have been one of the most popular anime out. Like, you see what Solo Leveling is doing? Imagine something good like the God of High School getting that treatment. Oh, man, it would have taken off, dude. It's so much better. But anyway. Next, we have The Elusive Samurai. Okay, this is my hot take. Genuinely the worst show I've ever seen in my entire life. So I have nothing to say it's worse than. It is the worst show ever in my eyes, because it's the worst show I have ever seen. Awful show. It's based on a true story, and it doesn't follow the story at all. And it is terrible. All the characters suck. The voice acting sucks. The only decent thing is the animation. Awful show. Worst show I've ever seen in my entire life. Next we have Windbreaker. I guess my hot take is it's pretty cringe. You know, there's not much I could say. I mean, I could say most of the characters aren't that great, but I've only seen the first season. So the second season is definitely going to dive into a lot more of that. But yeah, it's pretty cringy. I mean, they say and do a lot of cringy things. So that would be my hot take, I guess. Next we have Code Geass. Oh, this is again another one that's like, it's kind of hard to have a hot take on. What's my hot take on? Oh, Mao was pointless. I get they just wanted to introduce other people with the Geass, but he was just kind of annoying. I didn't really care for Mao, so I guess that's my hot take. Mao felt pointless to me. Then we have Skate the Infinity. Also one of the worst shows I've ever seen. So yeah, I guess my hot take is that a skating show should be about skating, not whatever the fuck it's about. Because it's not about skating 90% of the time. And it is terrible because of that. That's why I dropped it, because it's dog shit. And the main character likes kids. So yeah, don't really understand how this show gets popular at all. It's a skating show that's not about skating. So yeah, it's pretty terrible. Next we have Rurouni Kenshin. I guess my hot take is to separate the art from the artist, because Rurouni Kenshin's a pretty fire show, but obviously the dude that made it is a fucking piece of shit and deserves to rot in jail. So yeah, I guess that's my hot take. You know, and you can enjoy the work without enjoying him, because he's obviously a piece of shit. And I know it's hard for some people, but yeah, I like the show, so yeah. Next we have Chainsaw Man. My hot take is there's like no good characters other than Beam. There's no bad characters too other than Himeno. Like I explained this in another video that either is out or is coming out, that you know, Beam's the best character in Chainsaw Man, and Himeno's the worst character. Everybody else is like, like they're not bad, but they're not good. At least in my opinion. From the anime, I haven't read any of it, but all the characters are just kind of mid. Like they're not bad, but not good. Then we have Golden Kamuy. I don't know if this is a hot take, but like the story gets confusing. But I guess that wouldn't really be a hot take, because I feel like most people would agree. Like it'd be more popular if the story wasn't so confusing, because the story's good. It's just like it's kind of all over the place. So what could be a hot take for Golden Kamuy? I don't know. Like, because I could say, like, without the main character, the show fails, but, like, that's, like, 90% of shows, right? So I think that's so tough. What would I say for... It's going to have to be, like, the story is all over the place, because I have nothing else to say. Maybe it's probably the funniest anime I've ever watched. I could say that, I guess. But that might not even be true, so I don't know. Next, we have Gurren Lagann. My hot take is mech animes suck. So, yeah. Everything about Gurren Lagann is great until they get in the giant mech, and then it's like, all right, I'm done watching. Number 41, we have Saiki K. My hot take about Saiki K is it's the most boring show I've ever watched. It's definitely just not for me. You know, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not for me. Did not find it funny. Slept through most of it because it's just not interesting. And then number 42, we have Boruto. And Boruto, my hot take... I mean, people know the manga's good and the anime sucks, right? So what would my hot take be? Oh, Sarada's the best character. I mean, but is that really my hottest take on it? I don't know if this is a hot take either, but I'm tired of all the new, like, eye powers, and I'm tired of the Atsuki clan or whatever. Like, Boruto doesn't have to be stronger than Naruto and Sasuke. He doesn't have to be. Like, I don't understand why they're building it up, up, and up. Like, this could be a totally unique story through the eyes of Boruto instead of just becoming the strongest again. I know this time he doesn't want to, but yeah, it doesn't have to follow the same pattern. Next we have Baki. My hot take on Baki is the show Baki is awful. Baki Hanma is fantastic though, so that's my hot take. I don't understand how that happens, but the actual show called Baki and not Baki Hanma is terrible. It's bad. I don't understand. I don't even know if they're connected, because it doesn't even feel like it half the time when I'm watching Baki Hanma. But yeah, Baki's an awful show, but Baki Hanma's great. Next we have Yu Yu Hakusho. My hot take is pretty easily the ending was fantastic. People hate the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho. I loved it. I really don't understand the hate for it. I thought it was a beautiful ending. Next we have Kill la Kill. My hot take, which this isn't even a hot, like, I would say it's way too horny to watch anywhere outside of your bed, but it's not even a hot take. I think a lot of people would agree with that. The power system sucks the more naked you get. Like, I don't know. What's a hot take about Kill la Kill? Like, I feel like everybody would be like, yeah, I could see that. Because it's just a fun little show, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, the animation's really... I mean, it's for its time, it might be the best animated show from its time. I don't know. There's not really a hot take on Kill la Kill. I guess, yeah, it's just too horny to watch anywhere but your bed. Next, I'm not going to do manga just because, you know, I don't know. Just keep it in. Well, no, Ghost. Yeah, we're doing it. Whatever. Kagurabachi, the best new gen manga that I've ever read, and I haven't read many. So people be like, "Oh, that's you haven't read this." Like it's a hot take. And they're gonna be like, "Have you read this?" Saying that's better. No, I haven't. I've read like 4 new gen manga, right? But what else am I supposed to say? Because I'm trying to compare it to manga, not anime. It's just the best new gen one I've read. So yeah, I'll give it that. Next we have Ghost in the Shell. Best anime movie ever. Okay, that's one pretty simple. Demon Exorcist Kyoshi. What's my hot take? Probably the funniest thing I've read, because reading stuff just isn't that funny to me, but I laughed while reading that. It was good. Dandadan, I guess my thing with Dandadan is it's overrated. It's kind of boring, and yeah, I think the bright colors kind of carry it, if I'm going to be honest. The story's not really that good in Dandadan. Number 50, we have Doraemon. My hot take on Doraemon is... I don't know, it's just pretty bad. Like, it's just not a good kid. Like, there's so many better kid shows. I don't know. Doraemon was just never really interesting to me, so I guess... I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Next, we had Devil May Cry. I just started playing the games, and I don't know about the old anime, but I hear all the time people are like, this one's nothing like the games. After playing about 3 hours of Devil May Cry 5, which I know is not the same story that's being replicated here, it's not like so crazy far off that it's like a disgrace. Like, do you want the anime to just be an animated version of the games? Because there are story mode games, just go play the games. Like, so I guess that's my hot take, is it shouldn't be like the games. It should be somewhat original, and I liked it. It was good. Next we have Tsukimichi, the best worst anime ever. Like, it's pretty awful, but it's pretty funny. So yeah, that's my hot take. GTO, best slice of life show. Very great. Because technically the GTO is not a juvenile, like, or whatever. Like, they call it some bullshit, bro. Like Windbreaker and Tokyo Revengers, it's not like that. Next we have D Gray Man. My hot take is this show's so overrated. Now, I know not many people know what it is, but for everyone that does know what it is, they're like, oh my god, I love that show, it's great. It's not great. The season 1 was great. I love season 1. Season 2 is so boring and is paced awfully. Like, it's just not good. But anyway, and the only interesting parts of season 2 are Tiki Mick, or however you say his name. Everybody else is boring. Next we have Fate Zero. Season 1 of Fate Zero feels completely unnecessary. I guess that's my hot take. Now, I know you do kind of need it, but they could have condensed it down to, like, even probably, like, 4 episodes, just explaining what the war is, like the Grail War or whatever, because, like, Season 1's pretty much just about Castor, and Castor's boring as a motherfucker, dude. But then Season 2 was beautiful. I love Season 2, but Season 1 was just there's just too much bullshit in there. Next, we have Samurai Champloo. What is my hot take on Samurai Champloo? I don't really think the ending did it justice, I guess. It was still good, but I feel like there was a lot missing. Like, why'd they have to split up, I guess? I guess that's my hot take, because that's another show. It's like, how do you have a hot take on Samurai Champloo? It's great. Then we have Trigun. My hot take on Trigun. Well, the new ones are shit. Like, the new one and the new season coming to the new one is shit. But I want to give a hot take about the old one, because the new ones, obviously I haven't seen. But the old Trigun, what's my hot take? I don't know, dude. I loved Trigun. It was good. I guess there's one episode in Trigun that, like, half of it's recap, but then the other half is actually pushing the story, and it's like, those episodes kind of suck because you don't know where to skip to, and if you look up, like, are there any filler episodes, it'll say, like, there's a lot of manga filler episodes, but in terms for the show, there's none. So it's like you're sitting through this episode wondering, all right, when am I getting the new info? And yeah, it just comes at random times. So I guess that would be my hot take, is like, just that episode was not necessary. But alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, let me know your anime hot takes in the description. Again, I am doing a subathon December 28th. If this comes out after that, I should be live. Twitch.tv/birthroad in the description. Come say hi. Peace.